Shape of Things and In the Company of Men, our movies for this episode. What did you think?
About both of them at once?
Well, yeah. Well, no. Let's go with the first one, In the Company of Men.
Okay, In the Company of Men from 1997.
97.
Good year. Good film. Okay. I liked it.
Okay.
Just gonna go ahead and say I liked it. Plot points. Should we go into that? Or?
Well, actually, let's start with what didn't work in it first.
What didn't work in it immediately was the soundtrack.
Okay.
Soundtrack was trash. Well, why? First off, why are we?
Wouldn't you say sound in general too?
The sound in general was very amateurish. Okay. Yeah, but I feel like it was a small gripe. I mean, it's whatever. It was a low budget film. It was his first effort. He's Mormon.
Right.
So whatever.
Right.
I guess I was wondering why. Maybe it's a little early to pose the question to you, but why pick these two movies?
Because I'm fascinated by relationships
and
the dynamic of relationships, and I think these two movies explore that in a way that I don't see often.
Okay.
It's not. This isn't Jerry Maguire. This isn't.
I Can't Quit You.
This isn't. What was that one? Love Actually. This isn't.
Didn't see it.
Okay. This isn't that kind of shit. I think this. And it may be like showing my worldview off, but I think these movies are far more realistic. I think people go, no one does this kind of stuff. But as we delve deeper into it, I think people do.
Yeah. For people who haven't seen either of these films or heard of either of these films, if you would like to go and watch them right now before we talk about them, that's probably a good time to do so, because we're going to talk a lot about shit that happens in them. Right. And we probably should explain, so we're talking about In the Company of Men, just do like a quick run through of it. Like, it's kind of a simple plot.
Right.
It's two guys that are basically shining examples of the reason the Me Too movement exists. Deep misogynists, couple of businessmen that I don't think the film ever tells you what business they're in. It's just generic. It's just a lot of generic businessman junk. A lot of like, got to get my reports in on time and get to the conference. We got a meeting, boys.
Which is a brilliant choice.
It is great. I love that they don't really tell.
Well, even putting it in that setting too.
It's so bland and relatable though. If you work in an office setting or any job. So these two guys started the film. They're a little bit, we could say, jaded by their experiences with women. One is played by Aaron Eckhart. The other is played by not as good looking as Aaron Eckhart guy.
Matt Malloy, I think.
Matt Malloy?
I think
that name's familiar, but I've probably seen him in other things.
Okay.
But we'll call him not Aaron Eckhart. But they come up with an idea, I think it's Aaron Eckhart's idea, is to get back at women by both going after a girl and making her fall in love with them, and then it's all going to be a game, to which the end game is they're going to pull the rug out from under her, as Aaron Eckhart says, and just leave her high and dry with no explanation, completely break her heart, fuck her over. Right. And let's hurt someone. Let's hurt someone. Right. Let's hurt someone because we can, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then they pick a deaf girl who works in their office, who is a temp, and they both go seeking a pseudo relationship with her, and it doesn't end well for really anybody except for Aaron Eckhart,
right?
Who truly is a sociopath,
right?
So over the course,
and I'm going to say too, I think one of the best villains I've seen in a film.
But one of the most realistic villains, I think.
Okay.
Because it's like, I've known people kind of like that.
Okay.
I've experienced people kind of like that, and
Early in life or
kind
throughout
true
life?
kind of sociopath. I went to school with some sociopaths, didn't you?
Probably, yeah.
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 You tell me about that girl with the puppy explosion video. That's sociopathic.
Yeah,
right?
that's not right.
I knew a kid that jumped on a cat in an alley, and its guts flew out of its mouth. And I was like, I don't want anything to do with this kid. Fuck this kid.
But isn't it part of being a sociopath is you keep it hidden?
I think I think a smart sociopath or psychopath, which I don't even know if they're really using that term clinically anymore, but the sociopath, for it to really work, you have to keep it hidden.
Okay.
And you have to fool people, and I think that's what Aaron Eckhart does in this movie, even though he reveals his plan to Matt Malloy, or not Aaron Eckhart, and kind of lets him in on the game, lets him play the game, but at the end, he's also been played by Aaron Eckhart.
Right.
Because he caught feels for the deaf girl that they're supposed to be playing this shitty trick on, and then he gives the game up to her. She doesn't believe him, confronts Aaron Eckhart about it. Then he finally is like, well, yeah, fuck you, you're right, blah, blah, blah. The plot's really simple, but to watch it unfold is the like what makes this film, what makes me recommend it, I guess, because it's like watching a sociopath at work, and it's like somebody who's real alpha male, and like doesn't give a shit about anybody else.
Right.
He tells Matt Malloy that his wife left him, his wife, girlfriend, whatever, left him. Turns out at the end of the movie, she never left, and Matt Malloy's all broken up because of feelings, and he's like, well, why would you do this? Aaron Eckhart's like, because I can.
Right. And the whole time, really, he was the target the whole time. It was to get him to be distracted from, he was the leader of the project they were working on.
Yeah.
So Aaron Eckhart could move up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the target, but then also the girl was, I guess, collateral damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is that what happened? Because this is my first time seeing it. I didn't catch if there was like a line about it. Oh, I got the promotion because the other guy's all broken up or whatever.
Well, it was to bring him down. So I think it would make Eckhart's character Chad.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta get into that shit. Like 1997. So it's pre like modern use of the term incel and the archetype of Chad. But man, is this the origination of Chad? He's a Chad. He's good looking. Gets the girls, real aggressive, and all this. Disclaimer: fuck incels. But I'm interested in the Chad archetype.
Okay.
And this guy, he's like a Chad that's a proto Chad.
Right. Well, for me, watching it and seeing Eckhart's character, like I was really like, I go, wow, it's like watching myself.
I don't think the viewer is supposed to sympathize with Chad or to make the conclusion that I need to aggressively fuck over people around me to get ahead.
But there are some people that would watch it and would see him as like,
yeah,
you know, that's the thing.
Yeah,
there are absolutely people that would.
Yeah, would take no issue with his actions.
Right. Do you think it was made stronger because she was deaf?
I thought it was an interesting choice, and I thought it allowed them to show how shitty these characters were, even because it's thrown in her face at the end when the jig is up with the game. And
well, that's the thing with Eckhart's performance is that fucking laugh, man.
Yeah, that's a Chad laugh.
I mean, that's something I recognize that thing, and like this was the first time I seen Eckhart in anything, and I was like, I don't like that guy. He played it so well that I was like,
he did his job.
You have to be like this in order to understand it. If you know what I mean, or is that just a sign of someone that's a good?
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. Like Neil LaBute, they met at Brigham Young University, so they're both Mormons. I don't think Neil LaBute is anymore, but Aaron Eckhart might still be. I don't know.
Right.
It's quite possible that Aaron Eckhart came from some douche frat bro culture that was also Mormon. I don't know. Maybe he had something to draw on. Maybe he had other people around from back then to draw on. But he played it so perfectly that really don't give a fuck about anybody else kind of frat douche mentality that's grown up and has continued to be cancer.
Right.
Throughout the years.
Right.
It's maybe even more toxic now than in college.
Right.
And he's so fucking terrible. and it's great. It's a great performance.
Yeah.
There could have been more character development for her because she seemed like a little bit generic. She just seemed like, she's a nice, sweet girl, and she's fallen more for Aaron Eckhart than she is for not Aaron Eckhart.
Right. Which I think that's realistic as well.
I think it is too, because you take one look at the two guys together, and you know who's going to win. I'm sorry.
Right.
And that's unfortunate, but.
Well, and I think also the delusion of the Matt Malloy character to be like, well, I'm gonna come clean, and after this, you'll see that I'm the good person. He even says that I'm the good one. And it's like,
did you feel like he was the good one at any point?
If you agree to even do something like this,
but you can still see the error of your ways. You can still make a bad decision. I mean, I don't know, in this kind of thing, like if you choose to go along with this, you're a fucking douchebag.
Right.
But if you see the error of your ways and you try to do right by it, I mean, that's better than Aaron Eckhart's character, at least. But I think his when he gave the game up to her, I started to feel like, okay, there could be something of a redemption for this guy, but it was quickly overturned by how shitty he was to her, and when she just still didn't accept him and was kind of in disbelief about being played, and he throws it in her face, well, you're a cripple, or you're handicapped,
right.
and gets physical with her, and no, you're a fucking piece of shit too.
Right.
Yeah. You're not any better. You're showing your true colors.
Right.
And I like the very ending of the film too.
Okay.
Where he goes to find her at her new job, which is in a bank, and is screaming for her to listen to him, but she's deaf and she's trying not to look at him, and just see the last shot of the film, he's screaming at the camera with no audio, and I thought that was fucking great. Damn it.
Quickly, with the shape of things, and then in the accompaniment, which one do you think was a stronger film?
I gave that a little bit of thought, and I think I'd have to revisit them again because this is my first time seeing both movies.
Okay.
I think that
are they about equal?
I mean, they're probably about equal. Yeah. I liked them both. I thought In the Company of Men was stronger throughout, but I also thought The Shape of Things, the last 15 minutes or so of it, was so strong that it made up for the rest of the movie. It puts the rest of the movie in perspective.
Well, let's talk about, as you were watching it, you said this. You're like, why the fuck did you pick this?
Yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought this was going to be another Away We Go, or just you wanted to savage it.
Right.
And as I'm watching The Shape of Things for the first hour or so, and it is just disgustingly saccharine. I'm like, where is this going? It seems like a god-awful rom-com.
With really, the characters in it are so dorky. But do you say that are they realistic, or is this like a heightened, or are there people? I don't.
I think Paul Rudd's character, that guy's out there, but he's not Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's not that guy. I get the casting because the character also ultimately has to turn into a hot guy, Paul Rudd,
right?
Young Paul Rudd, but
who looks like old Paul Rudd, really?
Yeah, who looks like he's ageless, and I think that it makes sense to cast it that way, but I don't think Paul Rudd has ever been that fucking dorky in his life. And even if he was, the girls are like, oh,
right. That's very...
What an endearing Dorcas.
That sounds like a Chad thing to say.
No, I'm a bit of a Chad.
The Shape of Things, the plot is Paul Rudd's character. I don't remember these characters' names. I remember Evelyn and Phil.
Yeah.
I don't remember Jenny.
Evelyn,
I don't remember
initials
Paul
were
Rudd.
EAT.
Right.
Paul Rudd is Paul Rudd.
It's Paul Rudd, okay. So, Paul Rudd's working at a museum. They're both college students, and sees Rachel Weisz's character about ready to face a statue. They meet. He hits on her. They form a relationship. And then during the whole... Then he has these friends. We'll get into that later. But during the whole courtship, she's making these suggestions to... I mean, very early on, it's like, oh, you're cute, but... what are you doing with your hair?
Yeah, like one of the first things she says to him is like, I don't like your hair.
Right. What are you doing with your hair? So she's making these things. And so you're watching this, and I'm sitting there watching this. Like you said, when I first watched it, I go like, what is this? What the fuck is this even about? Because this is just, it's like some stupid relationship movie, like you're saying, and it's like,
the only reason you didn't shut it off the first time is because you thought that you would hate it so much that you would want to savage it one day in a YouTube show.
It's possibly that, but like, because I knew that this was from the director of the company I'm in, I thought like, okay, there might be something going on, but
did you have any idea?
I had no idea where it was going.
Neither did I.
Okay. So she's a graduate student and she's working on a project, and the big twist at the end was the whole relationship was her graduate school final project.
Yes.
Her thesis.
It was all fake.
It was everything.
Yeah. I gotta say, this one was kind of tough.
In what way?
This is kind of tough. Because more or less, that shit happened to me.
Okay. Okay, but this is one of the reasons why I want to watch this is because this one, I'm watching this and I go, this is what people I know in relationships do. They allow themselves to lose themselves into another person, and it's like, just be your fucking self. And it is, and she makes these great points. It's like, the motivation for this is I could just throw out sex and he would basically do whatever I wanted.
Yeah, her art project was about manipulating somebody through giving them sex, a relationship, intimacy, and it's, we may have to My fucking guts won't shut up. God damn, that's making it difficult. I love the tie hop. When the hammer dropped for Paul Rudd's character, and Rachel Weisz's character is telling him that their whole relationship was her art project, it was a lie, and she had manipulated him into a series of actions to make him more desirable to her and to be more quote-unquote normal, because he starts off the movie kind of schlubby with like a not great haircut and glasses and a little bit of a fucked up nose, I guess, and he just makes all of these changes. He starts exercising, eating better, gets a haircut, gets a nose job, and it turns into the beautiful Paul Rudd, and he was there. There's a question of whether it was his own free will that he did these things. It didn't seem like things he would have done on his own, but he did them for her. So it was kind of like a microcosm of manipulation and power and relationships. And I think I can speak with some authority on on things like that.
Okay.
Having experienced something not altogether unlike what Paul Rudd's character experienced, and there are people out there who, for whatever reason, will take advantage of somebody's inherent loneliness and need for affection and love, and use that against them to get whatever they want, and whatever that is. It's a deceptive game, not unlike the game that the characters in The Company of Men are playing, which is this is a theme that runs through both of these movies, that there are characters that are quite that have sociopathic tendencies, if not full-on being sociopaths themselves, that they manipulate other characters to get what they want. In the case of Aaron Eckhart's character in The Company of Men, it's that he's getting pleasure out of harming other people, and he ultimately, it helps him in his job. And Rachel Weisz's character, she gets this sweet graduate art project out of convincing Paul Rudd that she's his girlfriend for 5 months. And I experienced a relationship not unlike the one that Rachel Weisz and Paul Rudd have, where I was in love with someone that was not who I thought they were. I was giving my feelings under false pretenses, you could say, and so I deeply identified with Paul Rudd's character.
Okay.
And to have that like public humiliation in front of all these strangers and whatever, when she finally comes out in that theater about it, I didn't quite experience that. And certainly some things were different, but to feel like you, and not only does somebody not love you, but they used your love against you, is really one of the most devastating things I think a person can experience. And it's not so much that it's bad to make some compromise in relationships. Like I feel like Paul Rudd's character in that, he's just like a doughy kind of everyman, and he doesn't seem to have like that strong of a personality, and he makes cosmetic changes to look more attractive.
He is the very definition of meek.
He is very meek.
Meek, yeah.
Yeah, he's just a man child, and he's kind of pathetic, and I feel sorry for him. Maybe he needed to go through. He didn't need that. Nobody needs that shit to happen to them, but maybe he needed something to snap for him so that he could figure out who he was and stand up for himself.
Well, I think an interesting thing is after he goes through that, she even goes like, well, aren't you happier now? You know, aren't you, you're better looking, you're
more attractive.
Right.
But she was also like, if I hadn't told you any of this and it just like let you believe that, that we were still together. Right. All this, wouldn't you have been happy?
Right.
He was happy.
Right.
And so he's not. The issue is that he was led on. The issue is that like he was operating for months and months under false pretenses, absolutely manipulated, and it doesn't take somebody with a graduate student art project to do something like this. This happens day to day. This happens in people's daily lives. There is, I think, an element of manipulation in almost every relationship. The healthiest ones kind of minimize that. The unhealthiest ones, somebody is convinced the other person that they're not who they say they are, and this is gonna really sound like I found out she was a dude after 10 years. No. I know your version of what a relationship is differs from mine.
I think my version of a relationship differs from everybody's.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't know how typical my version of a relationship is.
There's
either.
probably no typical. That's the thing.
It's people, what is normal.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do know what is considered traditional is like, let's blow that up.
Yeah, let's blow it up.
Let's blow it up. It's not doing anyone any good.
Let's blow up all the like stupid roles, gender norms.
Blow it up, like
shit, just like
Karl Marx, destroy the family. I'm all. Like, seriously, I am in a way.
Yeah.
I just let's throw this out and let's like. Deconstruct and then reconstruct, especially when you get to a certain age. I think you should go through this. Well, I think it should happen almost on a daily or weekly basis on a micro level where you're just introspective enough to kind of like, who am I? What am I doing with this? But what I don't understand.
The self-awareness.
The self-awareness.
Yeah.
So many people lack it. That's I don't. What the fuck?
Or maybe there's like a modicum of it, but like it's not enough.
Yeah, I don't know. But. Right, but that's what I'm fascinated by. Maybe when I was younger, I maybe would fall into the, like, maybe someone, but like there was a point where I go like, I am what I am, and I'm not, I don't care about sex enough to change who I am to have sex.
Oh, fuck, I do. Yeah, I need to fuck.
Okay.
I need it.
Okay.
As gross as that may be for anybody watching,
right?
This guy fucks. I will do some pretty ridiculous things. I have done some pretty ridiculous shit for sexual fulfillment.
So say someone. Yeah, but what I mean is how far, like the Paul Rudd character in this, would you, like, they said, like, well, you're not, I'm forbidding you to do this or this. I mean, like, you really would.
Well, it's not. You gotta,
or would you change? Like, if someone
you gotta bring
because you've
more
had your beard for decades.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. If someone goes, that has to go. Would you be like, oh, okay?
Depends how good the sex is.
Okay. Okay.
My beard is not me. I am not my beard. I enjoy having a beard.
True, but if you find a style or something that works for you, it kind of is you.
That would be maybe something I would entertain like temporarily in a real downtime. But for any long-term time, no. I'm just foolish and idealistic enough to believe I can find somebody that will actually like me for who I am.
Okay.
That's still. And Paul Rudd's character is just sad because he thinks he has found somebody who likes him for who he is, and I think he sees those kind of cosmetic changes as kind of innocuous. It's like he's like, I don't care either way. And it's like, she made you throw away that old coat. Like, right. You've had that coat forever. It's whatever, man. I got a new coat. I lost some weight. I look better. I got a nose job. I look better. I got a haircut. I look better. It's like one way or the other with him. Any way the wind blows, like he's getting what he wants, and really it's like some of those are small sacrifices, but the one big sacrifice is like she asks him to give up his 2 friends, and he takes a second to think about it and is like, I choose you.
Right.
And I think that that's definitely a red flag in a relationship if somebody's like, you got to give up your friends for me.
Right.
Unless your friends are just shitty fuckers.
Right. And do you think either of these 2 people were really shitty?
Oh, I think the dude was shitty. Yeah.
I found both of them unlikable.
Unlikable.
But I would argue the shitty part, because here's the thing: like that first scene when Evelyn and Phil meet. Mm. Okay, one of the reasons why they're clashing is because they're both strong personalities. Yeah. It isn't just because maybe the ideological differences. It's because they're both people who know who they are.
Yeah.
And the other 2 are just these kind of
amorphous blobs.
Right,
of
and that's
personality.
Wouldn't you say that's what it was? Like, it was like,
yeah,
because the Phil guy's not fucking falling for. He's not allowing. He wouldn't allow himself to be manipulated in such a way. Do you think?
Even though he's a fucking asshole.
Right.
Yeah, I think that kind of comes through with him. Yeah,
right.
Like, he might do some manipulating, but he's not gonna allow himself to be like manipulated. Like he's like with his girlfriend or fiance.
Right.
Seems like he's telling her what's what.
Right.
And she gets a little bit resentful of it, and so then there's kind of the awkward makeout between Paul Rudd and that character.
Which it's implied that they have sex later on, right?
I think it is heavily implied because Rachel Weisz, when she comes out about her true intentions, she does make mention of he never revealed like all the true nature of the things that happen. So I think it's very strongly implied that he's still holding back that they actually had sex.
Yeah.
Which makes it a little bit more realistic because he's not the totally sympathetic character. He's not the fucking paragon.
No.
No.
He's someone.
He fucked up.
Well, right. That was part of her thing. Was like, and he's going to become more cunning and more, what was it, crafty. She used the word crafty because you're getting better, you're getting worse in other ways. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah.
You know what? We meet people, and through our interactions with them, we are changed, and we change them, and some more than others. You've been pretty steadfast as long as I've known you. but you know, you go through a 10-year relationship with somebody, and you come out kind of changed. You know, you might change some when you're in it, and then
you probably definitely recognize it when you're out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you definitely. Well, best case scenario is you take the lessons you learn from it, and you try to do better, and so it's life experience.
Okay.
And I don't feel like I've ever been in a relationship where I was forced to give up a lot of things, like a lot of things about my identity.
Okay.
If I did, then they were things that I was pretty much ready to let go of.
Okay.
And I think there's gonna be some amount of compromise in like any relationship. It's like, please don't do this super annoying fucking thing all the time. You can do it sometimes, but please don't do it all the time. Or find a good place for it or whatever.
Okay, right.
But I just I think there are some things worth a bit of sacrifice. I mean, I do. And I will make some sacrifices. It's a cost benefit analysis, but make some sacrifices for like genuine connection with another human being.
But I would argue that if it's a genuine connection, that person should just accept as is. There shouldn't be any of this. Well, in order to it's.
Oh yeah. No,
And talking about
there's a level. I think there's a level. There's a spectrum.
Okay.
Like most everything.
Okay.
I think that giving up your friends to be with this person, probably no go. I think there's a whole lot of people that will do whatever it takes to not die alone.
Okay.
I might be one of them.
Okay.
I certainly not trying to be alone the rest of my life.
Okay.
Yeah. Why is that so scary? Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't have a good answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, what she did was not so much an art project as a social experiment. And either way, it would never, ever, ever get okayed anywhere for this kind of thing to happen.
Right.
And it's truly horrible. It's truly fucking horrible. In social science, like, we don't hurt the people that we're studying. Like, we learn shit from the Stanford prison experiment and the Stanley Milgram stuff. And in art, I don't know, art is anything that you say is art, really.
Right.
It's so subjective, and certainly that's brought up and explored like a tiny bit at the end of this.
Do you think the movie is like kind of attacking those people that take themselves seriously as artists in that way? Do you think or do you think no, it's not? It's really just.
I don't think
no one's really right.
Who's gonna come out of this and be like, I like what she did there.
I'm interested in it. I mean, I find it really fascinating.
I find it interesting too.
but
if it was not a movie, it was a real thing that happened.
I couldn't. Yeah.
No, you would hate her.
Yeah,
Yeah. To destroy somebody like that, just because she could, and for art.
And which is the worst reason?
Oh, just because you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A lot of great art comes through human suffering.
Okay. Could incels relate to this as a thing like, see, both of these movies could be seen, right? See, that's how they are. That's how they are.
That's how men are.
That's how women are. Right.
It would be very misguided to come to that conclusion.
But the incel would go like, that's and comes in, that's good. And that's bad, and that's why we are the way we are. And
that's a good point. It's like, fuck over other people so they don't fuck you over first.
Right.
You know, get them before they get you. Because I think a lot of the incel community does see women as like the Rachel Weisz character, and
but didn't we just admit that that's how people are? But
not all people.
Not all people,
This is
and not to that degree. Right. Okay.
Even though something on this level happened to me, I am willing to entertain the possibility that not everybody is like this.
Right.
So,
and in both movies too, it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter the gender or sex of whatever of a person here. These things anyone can be manipulative, and anyone could do. You could change.
Truly.
You could change either movie to either situation, and it.
Truly.
Yeah.
I think it would be less believable, certainly like 1997, to have female leads pull this on a male counterpart.
Have you seen Disclosure?
I will say, watching the end of The Shape of Things made me actually feel like I may have a little bit of residual PTSD.
Okay.
Like years on, and I thought I'd work through this shit, but to see somebody destroyed so utterly, it made me remember. Made me remember that shit. So that's I'm gonna give that more to the film. I'm gonna say the film has a power, and maybe it's just my empathy for that character coming through. Even though I didn't find him to be the most likable character,
right?
I know that fucking pain.
Okay.
Yeah. If you watch this film with somebody and they didn't take any issue with it, or they didn't feel like a strong kind of gut level like outrage of what had happened, would you think less of them?
Probably, but I know some people that watch movies and they're not affected because it's it's just a movie. I don't give a shit.
It's just a movie.
It's just sore. It's not real.
Yeah.
And they're not able to. I don't know.
Well, I guess the show is not for them. I know some people don't care about.
They're not, or anything. They're not. Things are made for a reason, to chew on, to think about, and it's just But
like beer.
But if you, I don't know. I haven't been around those people in a long time, but I know.
In the company of men, I say, see it, The Shape of Things. I say, also see that. Good job.
Well, I mean, curious, but you never heard of either one of these before?
No, I don't think I had.
Oh, yeah.
No. I'd heard the name Neil LaBute, and look him up. He actually directed the remake of The Wicker Man, which is one of my favorite Nicolas Cage performances.
Right. And I recommend both films too. I think they're fascinating, imperfect, but fascinating.
Yeah. They were thought provoking, and that's what I asked for.
No one's in love like us, right?